Welcome back to the Trading Alchemist. It is February 26th, 2026. It's Thursday. It's about 11 o'clock in the afternoon. And I thought I would record a video to, one, give you an update as to where we are from last time, to talk to you guys also about what it is this channel is all about. So first of all, let's just kind of like jump in here real quick and let's kind of fill out the meat of what we're looking at. So first of all, this is where we were. We were over here and we were starting to blast off, and I was saying that we are coming to test this area right over here. And this is the range that we're forming right here. We're still on a downtrend. Obviously, we didn't get above the other one yet. So if you take a look, we've got a lower high, no, a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And this looks like we're forming a higher low. Now, notice that this set of candles right here, that the bodies of the candles are closed and there's a wick there. But notice this piece right here. Also, the new candle on the 12-hour is also stopped at that point. So we haven't quite broke it yet. We had a liquidity grab, and that's what that candle is. Let's zoom up here. That's what that candle is right there. So if you take a look over here, see this group of candles? Notice that it's underneath it. So it is a higher low, higher low, higher low, and again, a higher low because of the bodies of the candles. The wicks don't really count, okay? So now, where are we going? I'm not sure yet. Honestly, I still have my plans from before. We've got this as the bottom of the range. It has to break over here, this right here, this set of candles, in order to break structure, to move up, like I was saying, over to this zone, which I'm looking for it to do. But I also believe that this is in play down below, right? So until we break the range, we are in the range. So this is the range that we're in right now. All right. Now, if I were to take this and again, like break this off, if I take this and go to the high, we find the middle, right? So let me draw the middle line right over here. There we go. Let me get rid of this. Okay. And let me get rid of these right there. So see where we are. See where the candle came back? The candle actually came back to the middle of the range. Okay. Actually, let me just add this in there. Let's grab from here. Grab from here to here. No, it's right there. That is right there. Let me get these lines in here so that I don't have to kind of go back and forth on where I actually drew. That's the 100%, and the 0 is on that line right there. So let me just get rid of this now. And now what I can do is I can make these lines a little bit thicker. Let's do it. There we go, right there. Okay, that's that. So there we go. So, and then I will take this and I'll bring it down here so you can see where we are. Okay. Now the reason why I'm not butting up against these, the body, is because I'm actually going off of this right over here. So if you see right over here, that's where the body ended. So, okay. So we've got that. So yeah, that's looking about right. And notice that we've come down. We haven't quite actually gone above. We haven't really tested this. It looks like we're failing the 50% line. So there's a good possibility that we are heading down. That's a good possibility right now. Or again, we could be range bound on here. Okay, so the idea of the plan is until we break this range, we are still in the range. So this really is the buy zone right over here, and this really is the sell zone, just a little bit outside. If it were to come over here and wick down, then we've got the whole range to play if we want to. Okay, so right now that's kind of the plan, right? If it goes any lower, then you know, this becomes invalidated at this point, and this down here is the target that I'm looking for. So let me zoom out so you can see it. Great. Now, the thing is that, okay, so just like this right over here, again, I'm just adding a little bit extra. Notice that there's a wick over here. So if we did come down here, I would include this whole section as kind of a long, and I would include this whole section here, including above, as a short area, especially because we are in the high. This is the range high of the previous range. Okay, so that's that. I mean, you know, if I make a video tomorrow, my plan's not going to change. Okay, that's the important part you need to understand. I am looking at the 12-hour chart. So my plan will be the same every single time. So there's really no reason for me to make a whole bunch of videos here that reiterate the plan other than to give you an update on what I'm seeing on these markets. Now, again, the market will either go up or it'll go down. One of the other, right? or it'll stay in the same place. It'll range just like that. So the guess is if it goes up, this is where it goes. If it goes down, this is where it's going to go right over here. Now I included this as a target because if it overshoots, then that's where I want to buy. That's the biggest gain that you could possibly get. But also, if it breaks this dotted line right over here, that's invalidated and it's going way lower. So I've mapped out a plan here. You can choose to trade every single day if you want to. The plan is set, and I become patient. I longed in this section. I have taken profit in this section, and I'm still in a long right over here. Okay, so at this point, if it does break up, if it breaks up over here, I am in a trade. The other thing I did was I bought spot over here, I bought spot over here, and I bought heavy spot right over here. So if this chart wants to go like this all at once, my spot is really the one that I'm kind of focused on as to, okay, that's my kind of long-term investment. My short-term investment is my long and shorts that I'm doing. Now, we measured before what it would look like if it went back to the all-time high. And it said it would be about 100% on the range there. That really is a 1x. So if I put in $100 over here and it went back all the way to its all-time high, I would have made an additional $100, which is a 1x. That's what it is right there. So if I were to pull my trade, I would have 200. Right? It's simple as that. So depending on how much you put in there, that's what it is. So if I were to measure this, and I measure just like this, you see how that's a 15% right there? And if I measure from the bottom here to the top, see how it's 96 actually. I think I measured it from the wick. So if I measure from the wick all the way to the top, you see how it's a 106? That is a 1x. That's what that is from there. Now, what happens is if you're playing leverage, for example, if you're doing 10x and this were to move 1% in a direction, well, it would be 1 times 10, right? That would be a 10% gain that you would get. And if it were to move from here all the way over here, which is a 15% on there, it would be times your leverage. So it would be about 150x gain, right? Which would be a 1.5% gain on there. Okay, so if this moved 10%, I'm sorry, yeah, you can do the math here. Let's do the math. So if it moves 2%, let's do this math here. So if it moved a 2% move times 10x, it would equal 20%. That's what that would be, a 20% gain, right? And if I did 2x, if it moved 2% in a direction, times 20x, this would be a 40% gain. And this is leverage. That's leverage right there. That's what it is. Now, if you were to check this and you were to see like what the measurement is, if from here to over here, 10%, if I were to multiply that times 10x, that would be a 100% gain. Okay, that's where I play. And I play this zone like that. I do all my trades at 10x. That's what I do. It's a comfortable multiplier for me, and I'm able to see. So what I do is when I'm trading, I don't necessarily look for a 100% move because I mean, like, look at these moves. You can measure this. This is a 5% move. That means that I could have made 50% from that little move right there. And in this range here, if I were to have shorted this area and it goes all the way back down, then I would make 1x going down. I would make 100% on my entry here. So that's how I play leverage. I play leverage in these zones. And if you look at what these measurements are, you see this is about an 8% move up. It's also an 8% move down. This is a 5% move up, and then it dropped down, which is a drop of about almost 9% there. So you could start to see how every one of these things becomes, interesting. If I shorted over here, if I shorted right there, I could possibly made, 50%. On whatever I put in there. If I longed over here, then I would have made, I think I just measured that, but let me just measure it again. From here to over here, that is 12%. So it would be 12%. So 12% times 10, that would be 120%, which would mean that I did a 1.2x on my money, right? So you could start to see how these things become valuable, going up and down. So these ranges here, I play in leverage. That's what I play. And I usually play the outside of it. And it takes its time on the 12 hour. So that's how I play. Now, I want you to understand this. In this channel, what I'm not trying to do is I'm not trying to give you a place to buy and say, this is where you need to like, this is it. I'm going to do all of the work for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you that you need to buy a 52K and you need to put this amount in there and you need to DCA in, blah, 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 whatever. I'm not generating that plan for you. What I am doing is I'm sharing how I'm reading these charts and how I'm creating my plan myself. What you get from there is whatever you get from there. I am not doing that and trying to sell you a course. I'm not interested in selling you a course because in the past, I have bought courses and I have been very disappointed by what I paid for it. And turns out, long story short, when you pay these courses, you're actually giving those people the money to trade. Not only that, you're giving them an income. And that's fine. If that's what they're going to do, that's great. But if they sell you shafty information, then you really are their target. You are their chart that they are extracting money from. And I'm not interested in doing that to you. I'm not interested in doing that to anybody. This game, this trading game, is a lonely game. Even though you might be buying things with someone, you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying Ethereum, you're trading, you're doing whatever, and you've got a group that you're trading with and you're making gains, whatever gains you make is your gain. Whatever loss you make is your loss. You feel the pain and you also feel the celebration. So what I'm doing in this channel is I am giving you an insight to how I trade, what I see in the charts, and what plan I have come up with. But not only that, I am actually trading my plan. I'm letting you know where I got in, where I'm getting out, if I got stopped out, anything like that. And that's important data for you to sit there and trade yourself. Okay? So in this instance, what I've got is three plans. One, I've got a long area right over here because this is the range that we've got. This is where I'll long. This is where I will short because we are still in this zone. I don't care about this place. I don't care about it, and I don't care about this place either. I don't care about it because we are right here. This is where we are. This is the future. Forget that. Pay attention to what's happening now because that's what we're playing. So I've got two plans. This is where I'm going to long. Long, short. That is my leverage game, right? I've already bought spot over here, and I'm looking to buy more spot over here. If we come back over here, my leverage game will be done until we get over here, where I then will possibly long on my leverage and we'll buy spot because I know eventually we're going to come back up here. It's just the way the chart goes. I mean, look at this. I mean, I don't really need to tell you if you're looking at this. Look at how ranges work. Ranges work that way. Okay. And I'm giving you not only an insight to how I trade, but I'm also giving you the tools to help you look at this chart. If you look at this like this, you are looking at it wrong. It's hard to decide what's going on. Like, are there any candles that match exactly where this is right here? Like you're guessing. And until you actually start putting lines on the chart and breaking it apart, you won't actually see the patterns easily. You might be able to. I mean, look, this is a high and this is the all-time high. You can get that, right? But specifically, what number is it? Who cares? Who cares what number it is? I don't care what number that is. What I care about is the pattern that I see. And I trade the pattern. You know, the numbers are a side product to the pattern. That's what I see. Now, I'm not selling you a course. I'm not interested in selling you a course. If you want to reward me with something, reward me by clicking the like button. The only reason why I would like you to click the like button is because I know you're there. Because just like these charts, opportunity comes and goes. I may not record these videos forever. That's a fact, right? So any information you would like me to share with you, you should be there. I mean, imagine for a second that you went to a comedy show and you were standing up and you were making jokes and nobody laughed. Well, that means that nobody liked your stuff. So you, as a comedian, have to sit there and decide, well, did I share the right stuff? Or, did I make the right jokes? Or, how can I adjust myself for the crowd? But the thing about a comedian on the stage is he can see the people that are there. So the next time that he goes there, he could say, okay, this crowd is worth kind of working towards. Now, I don't really need a crowd to sit there and say that you like everything that's there, but dropping a comment below and clicking a like just lets me know that you're there. If you don't want to do it, I don't really care. Believe it or not, I'm going to record these videos until I'm tired doing them, right? But I'm going to share this information with you, and hopefully you will learn from it for free and trade and be profitable. Or maybe I'll give you an insight to what's really going on in the market, that you can just make better educated guesses or understand how to navigate through all of this craziness. You see, I block out a lot of the noise in these charts. And that's important that you do that, because at the end of the day, I'm not just trading against other people like you and institutions, but I'm also trading against myself. If I'm distracted at all, then I'm going to make the wrong choice and I'm going to be the one that's burned. Even if everybody makes a gain, I'm going to be the one that's burned. So it's important that you understand that these videos that I'm sharing is as if you're getting an insight to what I'm thinking. And what you do with that information is on you. So I've given my plan. We are in this section. I've given a plan for this section. I gave you a reason why I have a plan of this section. You can go back and look at that. And then you need to go back and do your own homework. You need to check out these charts and see what you're willing to explore, right? Whether you're buying in, you're selling, you're playing leverage, anything like that, you're buying spot, you need to see what a plan is. So every time you come to these videos, I'm going to share my plan with you. And not only am I going to share my plan with you, I'm actually sharing my plan with me because I come back and I watch these videos too to remind myself what my plan was, because sometimes time goes by. Because I'm working on the 12-hour chart, these zones end up becoming patient. So if you don't want to wait for this area, well, you've got the opportunity to play leverage, which you can buy and sell, or you've got the opportunity to buy spot and sell spot, buy spot and sell spot, right? That's the only way that you can do spot. You buy low and you sell high, right? But with leverage, you can buy low, sell high, buy like short the top and then, sell the bottom. I don't know how that goes in words, but you long at the bottom and you short at the top. That's the way that it works. And you can make money in both directions. Anyway, that's where we are right now. I'm going to take a quick look around the charts, because if you look at Ethereum yesterday took a pretty big push up. It was a really solid push up, actually. This was almost a 20% move. So if you bought 10x leverage down below, or whatever x leverage you did, you multiply that percentage by that, and that's what you could have made if you bought the bottom there. Notice that I have a dotted line at the bottom. This dotted line represents the bottom of these candles right over here. Look where it bounced. Look where it bounced. So anyway, what we are we still in this range, and until we break above it, break structure, yeah, the plan stays the same. I am looking at this area right over here. This is what I'm looking at. This is the bottom of the Ethereum range. Also, I'm looking at over here to actually buy and possibly put a heavy long in. So anyway, that's where we are. I'll do an update soon. Probably, I'll try to do one this weekend. But yeah, this is kind of where we are right now. All right, guys, be safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.